Ducati, who doesn't know the brand? Me personally, pag nadidinig ko ang brand na ito, tatlong bagay agad ang pumapasok sa isip ko. Malalakas, matutulin at pagkaganda-gandang mga motorsiklo. Mga tipong GP winners at mga motorsiklo na hindi ka magsasawang tignan dahil pogi talaga. As in, ahead of its time palagi ang mga design nila at mga engine technology. Kaya naman ngayon, salamat sa very generous na Ducati Philippines, we have been given the chance to review this Ducati Scrambler icon. Bago natin pag-usapan ng mga specifics ng motorsiklo na ito, gusto ko lang i-establish muna ito. Para sa mga hindi pamilyar sa mga Scrambler ng Ducati, welcome to the land of joy, ika nga nila. Dahil it is another whole world of the Scrambler lifestyle and motorcycles with this family of bikes. 1962 pa lang pumutok na ang pangalan na Ducati Scrambler when they sold these bikes in the United States. Blockbuster ang sales mga chong, and in 2014, heto na at binuhay ng Ducati ulit ang mga poging bike na ito. This is the website that is dedicated to the lineup of their Scrambler variants, and these are the bikes. Dami, di ba? Pati si Nadine Lustre napabili niyan dahil ang ganda talaga at may choice ka kung anong displacement ang type mo. May 400cc in the form of the Scrambler 62, the icon like what we have here with its 800cc engine, and the big kahunas na 1200cc Scramblers. In true Ducati fashion, ang bike mo ay pwedeng ternohan ng rider. Kung ang mga sport bike ay may racing suits, dito sa Land of Joy, dami din merch and accessories for the bikes and for the riders. And with that established, heto na, the Ducati Scrambler icon on its very iconic yellow color. Merong mga bike na gustong-gusto na nasa low rev range. Doon mo mararamdaman ang bulto ng power delivery ng mga yan. Meron din naman mga nasa mid-range ang lakas, at meron din naman mga bike na gusto ng laging nasa high rev range parati. Pero itong motorsiklo na ito, as with most Ducati bikes, malakas anywhere in the rev range. Actually, nakatry na ako nung naunang batch nito at talagang eager mag-accelerate ang mga yun and animalistic. But this one that we have here, at ang katulad ng mga Scrambler na mabibili mo today sa Ducati, ay refined na ang throttle response and power delivery. Sarap gamitin mga chong. You have 73 sprightly horsepower on your disposal, at lahat yung 73 horsepower na yan ay accessible. Talagang may enjoy mo yan, at hindi ito katulad ng ibang bike na malakas nga ang horsepower figure pero di mo naman ma-enjoy dahil papatayin ka naman na. Torque is great at 66.2 Newton meters at 5,750 RPM, and with the lightweight build of the bike, rapsang rapsa talaga ang power to weight ratio nito. Now let's talk about the appearance. Syempre pogi yan. Ducati yan eh. Mapapatingin ka talaga dahil makisig ang motorsiklong ito. It is not as bulky as other big bikes, pero bilang Scrambler, it embodies the light and nimble Scrambler bikes from the 60s. Heto mga chong, let's have a quick walk around the bike and talk more about the things that you'd get from this bike. Alright, Ducati Scrambler, right? Yan ang Ducati Scrambler icon. Kitang-kita nyo mga chong. Ang guwapo! Well, nakakita na ba kayo ng pangit na Ducati? Siyempre hindi pa. Hindi gumagawa ng pangit na bike ang Ducati, okay? As we discuss all the features of this bike, I just want to start on the headlight. Naging icon ng Ducati Scrambler family, yung X, okay? And this right here embodies just that. And being a Scrambler bike, syempre off-roadish ang kanyang mga gulong. Anong gulong to? It's a Pirelli MT60. I believe that is 19 inches or sorry 18 as it says here. Ang likod 17 I believe. Let's just check. MT60 to, syempre mas malapad dahil likod to. And yes, 17 as it indicates there. So ayan, nakakatuwa yung rims nito. Since nandito na rin tayo sa mga gulong, nakakatuwa yung rims nito, okay? If you take a look at it sa malayo, mukha lang siyang kalesa type na, you know, alloy rim, mags. But when you look at it, yung orientation pala niya, parang naka-wire spoke. Ang galing! Of course, Ducati Magic sa design. Master na master tong mga to. Ang gwapo. While we're here, habang pinakikita ko sa inyo yung parang cross-spoke na design ng kanyang mga spoke. Well, let's talk about the rear disc. Brembo, ABS, syempre, for your safety. Medyo malakas kasi itong motor na to. And single Brembo disc brake up front. Kung makikita natin, ayan lang ang kanyang Brembo disc brake sa harap. Over here at the front, you have an upside down fork na merong protector. Ganito, kasi Ducati expects that you would take these on light off-roading. Syempre, gusto mong maprotektahan yung stanchion na walang pumasok na dirt dun sa loob dun. Kasi may mga seals dyan na yung mga internals, di pwedeng pasukan ng, let's say, putek, ganyan. I believe that these are adjustable. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Pero mukhang hindi. I don't think so. Anyway, moving on. In keeping sa kanyang off-road na credentials, ito, magandang play nitong suspension na to. That's a monoshock. Tapos yung swing arm, hindi katulad ng ibang mga Ducati like the Monster, the Multistradas. May mga model yon na single-sided swing arm. Well, masisira yun off-road. That's why they put that kind of swing arm right there. Medyo pambaragan. Let's talk about that yellow. Okay? As the name implies, icon, right? Nagkaroon na ng ganito ang Ducati dati. I believe that's 1962. Says there. And if I'm not mistaken, that's how they've derived the model name, which is Icon. May iba pang model ang Ducati, I believe Desert Sled. Yan, medyo mas matangkad yan kaysa dito. Kitang-kita pag pinagtabi tong dalawang bike na to, yan, matangkad talaga yung Desert Sled. And it's more leaning toward hardcore off-roading. Ito medyo light off-roading lang to. And pag-usapan na natin yung meat and potato nitong bike na to, which is the powerhouse, yung kanyang makina, okay? L-twin, signature dish ng Ducati yan, 803cc. So 2-to-1 ang kanyang pipe na medyo pointing upwards kasi yun nga, mag-off-road ka. You don't want your muffler to be hitting sa mga bato-bato na madadaanan mo. And if you want it higher, may mga kit na mabibili which would lift your exhaust much higher. And here's the left part of the engine. Kung makikita nyo, ang daming cooling fins. That is because this is air and oil cooled. Yan ang mga cooling fins. Very useful in keeping the engine temperature really manageable. Parang heat sink yan, dyan tumatakas yung init. Tsaka dyan din mabilis magkuha ng hangin pag umaandar na yung bike. That's your oil cooler over there. Ngayon, this is the price of this bike. If you're interested, meron tayong link sa description down below sa Access Plus sa Ducati Philippines. Itanong nyo kung ano man katanungan nyo sa presyo. They'd be happy to entertain you. And of course, if you have time, pasyal kayo sa Ducati Katipunan or sa Access Plus sa Pitwazon, Quezon City. Over here is the nice seat. Kung napapansin nyo, walang mga contour. It's just a flat seat. Actually medyo contoured, but you can really adjust yourself when you're going off-road. So mabibigyan mo ng timbang yung likod ng bike. You can move around forward, backward. At ang maganda pa dyan, for riders not so tall, well ako kasi 6 feet tall, pero mamaya pakikita ko sa inyo yan, yung tindig sa akin ng bike. But anyway, madali siyang tukudan pagka nakasakay ka dito kasi mapayat tong part na to. Even the tank on this part, payat siya, so madali siyang i-manage pagka hinto ka sa traffic. Actually, why don't we proceed to that? Pakikita ko sa inyo. Eto ang stance ng bike na to pag inupuan ko. So, rider height, 6 feet tall. Ito ang itsura ng bike na to. Flat foot, naka-bend pa yung tuhod ko, right? Yung sinasabi kong medyo makipot dito. That's why I can reach the ground flat foot on both feet. Tapos, pag sumakay ka dito, yan ang view. POV ng nakasakay dito. Everything in front of you disappears. So inspiring talaga. It inspires you to go out there, twist that throttle on the off-road. Pag tumayo ka, ganyan. Yan. Feels comfortable, yeah? Pagka nakaupo ka dito, medyo medyo nasa acute angle lang yung legs mo. It's because Ducati have lifted the height of the foot peg para hindi naman basta-basta sasayad pagka off-roading ka na, right? So that's that. Pagka nakaupo ako dito, and this is how it looks like. Pagka naman, tinutukudan ko siya. Both feet flat on the ground. I-on naman natin. Of course, fuel injected, no? Hindi to naka-carb. That's why you hear that kind of whistle pagka in-on mo siya. That's the fuel pump. Priming the fuel line. Anyway, nakasegunda tayo. In-neutral natin. So we can start. And before we start this bike, this is how you cycle all the information. So that's high beam, low beam, passing through or passing light, indicator, left, right, cancel, busina. Tapos for as long as naka-neutral ka, this is the kill switch by the way. So basta naka-neutral ka, kahit naka-side stand, you just pull this down at bubukas na yung bike. This is the hazard. Yan. Para yung indicator nag-hazard siya. This is how you turn on and off your light. Ito naman ang kanyang ilaw sa likod. LED, right? Ganda nga sana kung pati yung ilaw dun sa harap LED rin. But anyway, it looks nice. And that boasts the Ducati. Kahit dumaan ka na, sinusundan ka ng mga motor sa likod mo, makikita nila, Chong, this is a Ducati, right? Tapos ang linis ng pagkakagawa ng likod. Even my dad who's not into motorcycle, napansin niya ang linis ng pagkakagawa nitong tail niya, paired with this mudguard na parang tire hugger na rin. Itong bagay na to, maybe this does not matter to some people, pero para sa 700,000 plus na price tag, everything that you feel on the bike, from the hand grips, the switches, yung mga coated na metal part, yung paint, even ito, tignan nyo, tinasahan yung aluminum just to write that born free 1962. Tapos textured aluminum. I mean, everything feels premium, everything feels nice. Even the ride, quality talaga. And that, folks, is the Ducati Scrambler icon with a very sprightly 800cc air and oil-cooled engine. Bunkers power for such a compact scrambler body, I would say. I mean, not sport bike levels ng power, but it's enough to get you into troubles if you really try to push it. Dahil tulad nga ng nasabi ko, the power of this bike is just everywhere in the rev range, and it is really eager to accelerate. But as I always say, walang perpektong motorsiklo. Palaging may pros and cons, kaya simulan natin pag-usapan ang mga pros. Unang-una sa lahat, ang bike na ito ay pogi talaga, as the blend of the modern engineering and the classic looks is just perfect. Tapos samahan pa ng malupit na material choice where everything just feels premium to the touch. Perfecta. Next up, in true Ducati fashion, is the power that the engine produces. No dull moments when riding this bike, folks. The power that is in your disposal is just so much fun to use. At dahil dyan, maging mindful tayo palagi pag ganito kasarap gamitin ang motor at palagi pong sumunod sa mga batas trapiko at speed limits sa mga pampublikong daan. Next is the lightweight na para sa isang 800cc na motorsiklo, this weighs light. No wonder marami ang mga lady riders na kumukuha nito because the power to weight ratio is just very good. And I guess, I would add the heat management on this bike. Sa mga naunang modelo kasi ng Scrambler na natry ko, yung init ng makina at tambucho ay ramdam talaga. With this one, the shielding has effectively reduced that. Now the cons, well, there isn't much that I would say. Para lang sa akin, yung cables na naka-expose at naka-loop upward sa area ng instrument cluster ay medyo off for the looks. Well, don't get me wrong here, okay? Maganda ang bike na ito. Guwapo. Pero sana lang mas malinis ang pagkakalinya ng mga kable nito. Not sure about the new night shift and the 1200cc Ducati Scramblers kung ganyan pa rin, pero napansin ko lang talaga yan noon pa. And lastly is the headlight and the signal lights. Gawin lang sana na LED yan ng Ducati. Damn, this would be great. Bukod sa mga yan, wala na akong makitang ibang cons sa bike na ito. It is hard to find fault on a bike that is truly well made. At kung gusto ninyo ng ganito, tulad ng nasabi ko kanina ay nag-iwan tayo ng link sa Facebook page ng Ducati Philippines para dyan. Nasa description yan ng video na ito. Bisitahin nyo rin sila sa kanilang showrooms para makita ninyo ang full lineup ng mga scramblers and other Ducatis. Di kayo magsisisi magpunta dyan at baka mapareserve na lang kayo bigla ng unit nyo kasi ang gaganda talaga. O paano mga chong? This has been your Garage King PH. You ride safe out there.